here's Chief Meteorologist Chris Boone.
Well, it's not too hard to find the cold front on our temperature map across the state. Much colder temperatures up towards the north. Wichita Falls 55 degrees, 34 degrees in Amarillo. And you see that sharp contrast with those blues and greens working their way in towards our area. Still ahead of the front for us here in the Concho Valley, Midland, right at that front. Looking at those temperatures into the mid-70s. That's going to continue to push further towards the south as we go through the evening hours. That's going to drop those temperatures for us going in towards the weekend. You can see actually on the eastern edge of that front, actually some showers and thunderstorms. Saw some severe thunderstorms kind of move in towards the Dallas-Fort Worth area and just off towards the east. Still seeing some of those watches and warnings. Again, we did see a little bit of a storm kind of develop out towards Crockett County, kind of moved in towards the El Dorado area, but again, not seeing the same instability, so unable to sustain those storms as we kind of go in towards the evening hours. Then we did see a little bit of a heavier storm off towards the east, so we'll still hang on to the chance for 1 or 2 isolated showers as we go in towards the evening hours, but I think the better rain chances really stay off towards the east. As we go into the rest of the evening, though, we'll still see those rain chances kind of make their way in towards our area through the overnight hours. Could hear 1 or 2 rumbles of thunder through the early morning hours on Friday. As that front pushes through, we'll see that moisture kind of push off towards the south as well. So by Friday evening, our rain chances start to drift further towards the south. That'll be out towards Interstate 10 as you go in towards the weekend, out for Saturday as well. So again, that's going to be kind of a look at the future cast. As far as our rain chances, winds, that's kind of still going to continue. We do have that wind advisory for the northwestern parts of the Concho Valley. We've been hearing them gusting here in the studio just in the past several minutes. You can actually see that pocket of some of those gustier winds. Well, when we take a look at where our highest wind total or highest wind speeds are right now, the gust into the 30s, that's sitting in that same pocket, basically from San Angelo to the west and for the northwest. So areas like Robert Lee and Sterling City also seeing those gusty winds. A little bit calmer further towards the southeast, but as we get into the evening and overnight hours, all those winds will turn more out of the north, and that's going to cool us down, especially from the 80s that we saw for most of the Concho Valley. Did see a little bit of 70s off towards the northwest. Most of us warmed up fairly nicely thanks to those southerly winds. But that's all going to change as we get into the overnight hours. Those winds start to turn more out of the northeast as that cold front makes its arrival, and we'll see these temperatures begin to plummet, drop from the 80s. In fact, we're going to buckle up because the weather roller coaster is back in play. We'll go from the mid-80s back down into the 30s as we go into the overnight hours going into the beginning of your Friday. In fact, that's basically what the next 12 hours looks like, going from those 80s, 70s down into the 40s and upper 30s as you get into the overnight hours. So expecting a big drop in the temperatures as that cold front makes its arrival. 37 for our overnight low. That cold front makes its arrival. Again, still hanging on to the chance for 1 or 2 isolated showers, but tomorrow for your St. Patrick's Day, much colder, highs into the mid-50s, then increased cloud coverage, and again, those temperatures, or those winds rather, out of the north, gusting up to 25 miles per hour. That frontal system will push through, but doesn't push through all the way. We'll still see a little bit more of that moisture kind of linger its way in towards our area for the weekend. That's going to give us a chance for 1 or 2 showers for the weekend, but we'll start to dry things up as we get into the beginning of next week, and that's also going to allow us to kind of warm things up. We'll see those temperatures climb back up into the 60s and 70s for next week, but otherwise, next couple of days hanging out into the 50s for the most part. We'll actually see a little bit of a cool down for us on Tuesday, but quickly jumping those temperatures back up into the 60s and 70s by next week.